And I'm really honored to be invited to be here on this Sportsbeam Day 2015. That's your annual Sports Day celebration. And as I stand here on this Sports Day, I'm reminded of my school days many, many years ago. So those days we didn't have such organized sport events or celebrations, but I still remember me participating in school games as well as playing with friends in the neighborhood where I lived. And I need to confess that I'm not a very good sports person, but I always enjoyed participating in games and playing with friends. And another feeling that goes through me as I stand here in this school is that school is a place where the future of any country is nurtured. What I mean by saying this is students who are assembled here today are going to be the future leaders of this country. And who knows, some of our CM and great ministers and even Prime Minister may be one among you in the future. And I hope that will happen. And parents at home and teachers at school, they play an important role in molding an individual's life. And for someone to become an all-rounder, it's not just the performance in academics. He or she has to perform in extracurricular activities as well, and in particular sports. And what I am today, I would attribute to some of the positive impact some of my teachers had on my life. I still owe a lot of respect to those teachers who helped me in making me what I am today. As the chairman just mentioned, Sports Day events is a red letter day in a school's calendar. And during this time, actually, you people are free from your regular classroom activities. And as he said, you can jump, you can run, you can participate and compete in the various sports events. Compared to our generation, the present generation of children is totally different. They are overburdened with academic workload, and it is really important that they participate in extracurricular activities, which is a real let-out for them. And sports in particular helps people to grow physically. It helps them grow their muscles and relax their minds. And at the end of the day, actually, it makes them healthier. Also, sports helps them to learn discipline in life. By participating in sports, children learn, stick to the rules of games, abide by the umpire or the referee's decision, and also learn to control themselves when provoked. Especially the on-field games like football or hockey actually help them learn self-control, then orderly behavior, and disciplined participation. In addition to all these, sports also help children learn important characters like honesty, teamwork, fair play, respecting themselves and others, and also how to deal with competition and coping with success and failures. Sadly, of late, students are under a lot of pressure as they reach the 9th standard or 10th standard to excel in their plus 2 exams. So apart from their regular work in school, actually they've been pressurized to attend tuitions and other coaching classes, and they miss out on physical activities. So it is important for parents and teachers to make sure that we provide suitable opportunities for them to expose themselves to play and then games. Recently, I came across a study which was done in Australia. This was conducted among the 5 to 17-year-old school students. So what they found is 6 out of 10 students, they never participated in any sports outside school hours. The reason that they have mentioned is these children are often glued to their electronic gadgets like computers, mobile phones, and televisions, networking with other people, and they end up sitting at home playing with these gadgets. So what they have found is 25% of their people among this age group are overweight, they have other medical problems. Even in India, we are not behind them. So there was another study which I came across, which was done in 2013, not far away from this place. It was conducted in the city of Chennai. So they had recruited about 20,000 children studying in about 50 odd schools. Out of these 50 schools, 30 schools are private institutions and 20 are government institutions. Sadly, what the study found was almost 24% of these children were overweight. And among these overweight children, 20% of them had high blood pressure. It's very unfortunate to see children of this age group having high blood pressure, because patients with blood pressure are more prone for heart problems and brain problems. So why do we end up like this? Probably it's the changes in social setup over the last 2 decades or so. So our lifestyle has changed due to automation, automobile revolution. Everyone wants to travel in a car or a bike to school or their workplace. And it is okay, I don't blame that, but ultimately what we have forgotten is we need to give importance to our health as well, because basically when we get into this sort of a lifestyle, we lose out on our physical health. And the other problem the present generation facing is the number of fast food restaurants and junk food restaurants around. So in fact, actually, we have to be very choosy about what we eat. So it's the parents and the responsibility of the teachers to motivate children about taking care of their health and then how to select a healthy food. So as I was mentioning, actually, it is very important that we excel both in academics as well as in other extracurricular activities. So you people might ask how to find time. Ultimately, at the end of the day, it's all time management. So we need to prioritize what we need to do and what our ambition is. It is important that we need to excel academically, because academic excellence is the security of our future, but at the same time, we should not lose out on our health. So a time management expert was addressing a group of business students, and through his address, what he did was he took a large glass jar, kept it on the table, and carefully filled it with rocks which he had brought along. And he asked the students whether the jar was full. With one voice, all the students said yes. And then from under the table, he took a bucket of sand and then dumped it into the jar. And then he asked the students again whether the jar is full. So this time the students were caught on, and then they said, probably not. Then again, from under the table, he took another bucket of water and then filled that jar up to the brim. And then he asked the students what they have understood from this illustration. So one of the students got up and said, in spite of a busy schedule, I should be able to fit in more things. But this expert said, no, that's not the message I wanted to convey across. But what I wanted to convey across is, if I hadn't filled that jar with the bigger rocks first, I don't think I would have been able to done that later on. In other words, what he wanted to convey was, we have to prioritize things. We should not allow urgent situations to crowd out our important things. Basically, if you want to excel both in academics as well as in extracurricular activities, you need to prioritize things. Not just the things, you have to prioritize your timing as well. So how do you do that? So you need to plan your day with what all the things you have to do on that particular day, and then you have to stick on to that schedule. You should not allow something to be left for the next day that you should have done on that day itself, because if you do that, that will never happen. So, I know each and every one of you will have some ambition in life. To achieve that, you need to work hard, and that will involve both excellence in academics as well as extracurricular activities. Even during this Sports Day celebration, some of you would have won a lot of competitions, and I like to congratulate them. At the same time, actually, I just want to encourage those who participated and lost, because when it comes to games, it's not just winning the game. Participation is more important than victory. The same thing applies to life as well. It's not just the success that matters, but the struggle that you go through. In essence, what I want to convey is, it's not how you fought the victory, but how you fought it out. That is more important. So, I just want to leave with you that you need to work hard to become successful, whether you want to become a doctor or an engineer or an administrative officer. It's all ultimately hard work. And I wish you all the very best and God's blessings on each and every one of you. And I thank the administration for giving me the chance to meet you and be here with you today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for the optimistic address.
It's time to felicitate and honor the people who have emerged victorious in sporting events conducted this year. We request our distinguished guests to appreciate the victors with the prizes.
And now for the most awaited moment. Overall Inter-House Activity Championship goes to Gandhi House. Captain Niveda Shruti, Vice Captain Prasanna Ravi, teachers, Mrs. Sarvana Priya, Mr. Narayanan, Mrs. Vanita, Mrs. Kumuda Priya, Ms. Leena, Ms. Mohana Priya, Mrs. Lakshmi, Ms. Deepika, Mr. Karthik and Ms. Sangeeta.